Hello and welcome back to my channel, the Arti Solanki channel. Here we dive into stories of resilience, inspiration, and empowerment. Today we are thrilled to feature Hala Dabboussy. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm so sorry. She's a former IT professional, a business coach who turned her life around after a traumatic brain injury. From living life in harmony over hustle to authoring a children's picture book that empowers kids with confidence. Hala's journey is a true extraordinary, and get ready to uncover her 5 key components to leading a harmonious life and so much more. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and join our channel so that we can bring you more inspiring conversations. But let's get into it. Welcome, Hala. I'm so happy that you came and joined our channel, and I can't wait to hear all about your journey.
Thank you, Arti. The pleasure is mine.
So tell us a little bit about I know 15 years being in the corporate industry and then becoming a business coach. How did that, we have similar backgrounds. I'm also an IT, which I still am, and also am a business coach. So I'm like, okay, I need to know your side of the story.
Yeah, we do have a lot in common. So the only difference is I put aside my corporate coat to pursue 100% business coaching. So actually, when I was in IT, I was living back then in Dubai, where I worked for almost 15 years in corporate America. So I was working for 3 different big software, hardware companies, virtualization companies. And when we moved to the United States, I decided that I want to do something on my own. And part of what I did back then is mainly sales and professional services and education. But to me, it really piqued my interest most is that personal relationship, is the human to human conversation. And that started way back when I used to be involved in not nonprofit organization. So when we moved to the United States, I decided that I want to pursue what I truly care about, and that is influencing people's lives to the better, improving, giving people, teaching them tools to improve their lives. And this is how I chose, like combining my experience plus the things I love to do. This is how I got to business coaching.
Yeah, excellent. And like I said, it's like so much similarities. And that's exactly what I like to do as well. Like, just empowering women and uplifting them and giving them the knowledge and the tools to grow. So that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your injury and how the recovery shaped your, perspective on life and work.
Wow, that was a transformational moment in my life. So this happened 2 years ago. It was my birthday. We had a huge birthday party and we booked an entire axe throwing venue, and we had, friends and family and clients and everybody I knew gathered. And then suddenly I felt like an excruciating headache. I saw my son. I told him, go call your dad. I'm going to sit down. So I sat down and I don't remember anything.
Wow. So was it at the party itself?
At the party, at my birthday party.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was seriously like, I don't remember. All my guests remembered, and poor husband, he remembers. All my friends that were there, they called 911, rushed me to hospital, and I was very lucky to be rushed in right on time to stop the bleeding in my brain, because they immediately diagnosed me with a ruptured brain aneurysm and a severe hemorrhage. They had to stop the bleeding immediately. And few days later, I woke up, they were extubating me, and the story of recovery started. So rehab, I've been 2 years continuously doing rehab, but definitely it changed my perspective on things.
Yes.
What was the most important is no longer the most important. Other things have taken priority. So initially I was kind of chasing the big dream, making money quick, in order to, if I speed up now, I can relax later. But what I didn't realize is that slow and steady wins the race. Running too fast, it felt like I was chasing an oasis. Every time I got closer, it got further away. Um, so now I am trying to kind of tell people like the hustle is just a vague term that doesn't do us any good. So I'm not preaching a life of laziness, but creating harmony, focusing on the right things at the right time is where I am now.
Yeah, it's like a work-life balance, right? You have to know your priorities. And especially as a woman, we have not just work, we have our kids, our partners, our pets, our, there's like so many things surrounds
That
us.
we prioritize before ourselves.
Yes. And even for me, like, I have three rescue dogs. So I have to like, even when I have to plan my day, I have to make sure that they've been fed, they've been taken out and everything, and then go because they rely on us. And so we have to understand that, like you said, it's just harmony. You have to work-life balance is so important to make any changes, or just don't try to run and chase behind the dream, but how you're doing it is very important.
Sure. What clicked that light bulb is when my son came to me and said, before you used to be different, you were busy, but I like you now more. And that was like, I was in the thick of it. Even now, my speech is much better. But before I was slower and I used to slur. And he said, I love you now more because now you are spending more quality time with me. So that put everything into perspective. And I was like, what was I doing? Now it's time to rearrange my priorities. And I came up with this model. It's the 5Fs model. So that is helping me kind of put things into priority and perspective. And because if it's lopsided, it's not gonna get me that harmony that I seek, that contentment where I feel peace. This is what I crave. I crave peace, and I don't want to chase after things.
Yeah, it's like, how many times do you stop and smell the flowers? Or how many times you think that, okay, today in the morning when I wake up, I want to have my coffee or tea outside and watch the sunrise. And you take that moment and just sit without your phone by your side or without any things, other distraction. And how many times you feel peaceful, that counts, because those are very precious moments in your life, and you have to value those. And I totally understand what you're saying, is because 4 years is almost going to be, this May is going to be 5 years for my mom passed away with liver cancer. And the 4 years that I spent with her, the last 4 years, I've learned so much from her, because time is so essential at that when you're going through something like this, and every moment counts at that time. And then you realize that we've been gifted such an amazing life, but we don't really we take it for granted. We don't take that time to just love ourselves or love the things that we have in our life, and it's just like when something like this happens, it triggers us that oh my God, but
yeah, living in the moment, and in the moment with intentionality. I always like to quote that saying from Kung Fu Panda: yesterday is history, tomorrow is mystery, today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So for me, enjoying and be present in the moment and living it with intentionality, like savoring, like you said, smelling the roses, enjoying every sip of coffee, and being intentional, sitting with my family instead of, being on my phone or working and trying to keep up and juggling so many things. I was burning myself out, and was burnout is the silent killer of this century. So we need to be very, very intentional about how we live this moment and prioritizing things.
Yeah. So it's funny because you say these things. And last year, I think in the midst of last year, it's been only 6 months that I started making a point where when I'm driving with my husband, I'm not going to check my phone unless it rings and somebody's calling. But
Mhm.
otherwise, I'm not going to be on social media. I'm not going to be checking my phone because it becomes like he's driving and then I'm just going to be on my phone. And we lose that such a beautiful moment together or driving together and seeing what's going on around the world or even having
Or
that
even having
conversation.
conversation.
We missed, it was like, because there was so much going on for me as well, like you said, work, and we have this and that and appointments, and we're trying to juggle everything, and we forget that
Yes.
what is important for us. And then so last 6 months I've been practicing this every time when I sit and I'm like, I whether my phone is charged or not charged, I put it on the charger so it's away from my hand, it's not in my hand, and then so that way I'm just having the conversation with.
Yes, for sure. And for me, like, I'm going to say it's a blessing that I have car sickness. So I cannot read anything in the car.
I
So,
used to read books before in the car because I felt like that was the time that I was getting, and I would read books on the
yeah.
car. But I don't do that anymore. But
Yeah, for
at
me, car drives are my me time. I listen a lot to podcasts and audiobooks. And at the same time, I like the intentionality and allocating time. Even I have deleted all the social media apps from my phone because, and I don't check them on my laptop. I only check them on my iPad when I have nothing else to do. So it's small habits.
yeah,
They do make a big difference eventually. It's just the commitment,
yeah.
to do those things.
Yeah, yeah. We do have a few rules with how to start our day and everything, and we try to keep up with that except for these winter days. Otherwise, we have it where every morning we have to have our tea outside, outdoors, and watch the birds, watch our dogs, and then have our tea. And
So you have to ground yourself and anchor yourself into something that is, outside of you, like Mother
yeah,
Nature. It's
yeah.
just so beautiful to watch and see and capture those specific moments because life is for granted.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Someone, I think in one of our podcasts, someone told us about you should be able to walk barefoot on the grass and experience that.
Yeah,
You should walk
grounding.
every day. And
I'm totally agree.
I've been trying to do that every morning, but I haven't been, but I've been
I
like,
like to do it like on the beach,
yes, I like
but
that.
I don't like it scares me here in Texas because there are fire ants. And so walking on the beach barefoot on the sand, it's
It's
very in my backyard. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, yeah, same, same. But I mean, like, that's one of the other things I'm gonna try to
Oh,
do
for
this year.
sure.
So tell us a little bit about your children picture book because you've come from IT to business coach, and you have this really amazing. It sounds like the harmony over hustle is just the name itself tells it. Like it explains that you're going towards a harmonious life. But now tell us about the children picture book. That what inspired you for that?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to write a book. It was on my vision boards and dreamt of it long, long time ago. But I started so many different books, but I got bored halfway through and I was like, if I'm getting bored writing it, people are going to get bored reading it. One day during, what I was doing rehab, and part of the rehab, I have to walk at least for 30 minutes. And I was listening to a book called Worthy. And in the book, she says she was rejected so many times, and she was very grateful, saying that rejection is God's protection, which I love. And she said, but this taught her never to dim her light. And I was like, what a beautiful image to teach little kids, especially because I was teased a lot when I was a kid because I was taller than most people. And Granted, I'm not very tall here in the US, but I'm originally born in Lebanon. So I was very tall and my hair color is very different. People would make fun of me saying that I have onion hair. Anyway, so they used to tease me a lot. And I was like, I wish there was a book that teaches kids how to have self-confidence, even if they are different. So I wrote this book. It's called Goldie, the Very Bright Light.
Wow. Yeah.
And it teaches those kids that even if they look different and they sound different, it's okay. There
It's
is
okay.
power in difference.
Yeah.
And teaching them that they should never dim their light because they are meant to be very bright. So Goldie goes through different, testing situations. And then she learns how to deal with people or with other kids who look different than her, and how to find her inner strength, and that each light has its own purpose, and we don't have to be all the same, looking the same, sounding the same. Life would be so boring. So each one of us has its own light and gift to give to the world. So I came back home after this sparked a light in my head, and I was like typing away, and I had the idea, and I felt very, very passionate about going and sharing it with kids. And now I am on my book tour in different
Wow.
schools to read the book with the kids, and then do activities, and make sure that they learn a lesson of empowerment, that
Yeah.
they are different, and it's a gift to be different.
Yeah. And also, not just for the kid to feel confidence, but also it teaches the other kids that not
Acceptance.
teasing, teasing is not good. I mean, we all have our own superpowers. I guess we can tell the kids that you all have your own superpowers and we all are different in different ways. So this is such an amazing book to, explain it to kids in such a simple and very nice way. So I'm looking forward to reading that book as well. And especially now for my grandkid.
Yes, that
Definitely.
would be wonderful. So yeah, definitely. And the feedback I'm getting from kids is just amazing, telling
Wow.
me all the testimonials and the things that they are learning and
Mhm.
how they are interpreting the book from their own perspective. It just warms my heart every time I receive a message from one of those kids.
That is so amazing. That's so
Yes.
nice. So you've also been actively involved in nonprofit organizations, right? So how has this work shaped your mission and outlook of on the life?
Oh, yeah. The nonprofit was a huge part of how it directed me to find my purpose. I was working and used to help the juvenile detention program, where
Mhm.
kids, before their release date, they used to come and we used to do a 2-week workshop with them to teach them math, literacy, reading, carpentry, few things for them to be able to go out in the world and find decent jobs. And when the first time one of those kids come and hugged me crying and said that he will never go back to stealing and a life on the streets, and he is, because I inspired him to become a better person, to find a decent job and earn decent money. This was for me a moment. I have goosebumps now because
Yeah.
this was the moment where I realized what is my purpose. I realized that second that God put me on this earth to
To make a
influence
difference.
and to empower and improve, elevate, educate, all of these things, and
Mhm.
help other people. But back then, this was me at the age of probably 21. So,
Wow.
so I figured out my purpose, but it took me probably 25 more years, no, 20 more years to realize how I'm gonna make it. Because back then I was, starting my corporate job, and I was learning and
Right.
exploring and figuring out my leadership style and my work ethics and all of these things building up
Mhm.
until I realize now I want to improve and upgrade the lives of the younger generation who feel insecure, not very confident, especially in this day and age where social media is very prevalent and the comparisons and
Yeah.
feeling inadequate. So I want to make sure that I want to empower the young generation to feel more confident with who they are, not because they want to copy someone else, just
Right.
because there is a light within them that they need to shine so bright.
Yeah. No, that's so fantastic. That's so just so empowering itself. The mission, the purpose behind is so strong, so powerful. That's very nice. So what would you give one piece of advice to someone seeking harmony in life? And what would it be?
There is no one thing that is the secret recipe. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we are looking for the fast option, the quickest way. And unfortunately, it's never going to happen. We
Yeah.
need to truly commit to making small changes.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's going to make the biggest difference is if it doesn't align with your values, if it doesn't align with what your purpose in life, say no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Say
There's no cookie cutter
no.
system. So it's like what brings, like you said, what brings you the joy, what brings you
Yes.
the happiness, and that's what it matters the
Yeah.
most. I
Keep the
mean,
things in your life that bring you joy. And that's what I love about the Marie Kondo system of cleaning.
yeah,
Again, we need to
yes.
do this tidying inside of the people that we surround ourselves with and the things that don't serve us, get rid of them
Yeah.
and just focus on the things that spark joy in our lives.
Yeah. I just like watching her because it just, I don't know, for some reason it just brings me so much peace. It is so soothing. I'm like, yes, exactly what I wanted to hear. She says the most wonderful, and it feels like she connects to not just that person she's helping, but to each and every one that are listening to her.
Mhm.
And she's just so amazing. I love her.
Yeah, I mean, there's, her style and her demeanor, and
Mhm.
I'm not like that. I'm kind of loud and over the top,
Same.
but it's okay. This doesn't mean I don't appreciate what she
Yeah.
brings, and I see value in just keeping what brings you joy and getting
Mm.
rid of the chaos and the noise. We only live once, and to make it worth.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's next for you? Are you going to write more books, or what are your plans?
Oh, yes. So the plan is write a sequel for the book because Goldie's gonna grow up and she's gonna have face different challenges and she's gonna learn new things along the way. She's gonna discover more things about herself. So the next book definitely is coming up, and I want to continue doing the school tours and speaking to kids directly, whether at the schools or at the libraries or in any event. So this is what I'm focusing on for this year.
Fantastic. And is this book on Amazon, or how do they,
Yes,
your
the book is
website?
on Amazon. They can search for Goldie, the Very Bright Light, or just my first and last name, and the book will pop up.
Well, I'll put a link to the book on
Perfect.
our description so people can buy it. So we'll have that
Awesome.
link. And if you also want to share your nonprofit organization, we'll add that into our description. If somebody's wanting to help or need more
Absolutely.
information about it, they can reach out to you. But this has been such a fascinating and very inspiring story. And I wish you all the best. And I can't wait to see more Goldie books coming out. And so we can have the whole sequence there. So I wish you all the best. And I appreciate your time and sharing your journey with us. Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much.
Thank you, Arti.